Well, good morning, recovery community. Yesterday was a bit eventful, I guess. Called out old Submantha, told him to make a video since he's always critiquing everybody else from behind the keyboard. And he did exactly what I expected him to do, which was take his little dick beaters and make a comment or two or three or whatever. We're going to lighten it up a little bit today, though. Yesterday, like I said, was a one off. Just kind of wanted to show, I guess, people who are anonymous bullies that they ain't shit, right? You're in the comment section. You're like that person who sits up in the stands and talks shit about the people on the field. You're not on the field. Okay? But I was over at my buddy George's channel, the Triple G, and he brought up a good point. Because yesterday in the comment section after yesterday's video, or during or whatever, Rick from Sober Start had come into the comment section, and he wants to do the interview with me that we talked about like 3 months ago. And I told him to get himself sorted out before we do the interview, if we do. But George was bringing up a good point. Actually, brought up a couple of good points. He said, one, that Rick should absolutely submit to a breathalyzer before the interview. I agree with that. I don't want to have an interview with anybody that's intoxicated. But he also brought up a good point too, where he thought that at least at this juncture, that a one-on-one meeting between Rick and I would be inappropriate. And I agree with that. The reason why I tag so many people in these recent things that I've been doing is because, well, I made the comparison yesterday that talking with you guys online and things like that is not much different than being in an AA room. And I say not much different, right? But obviously there are differences. AA is anonymous. This is public. Welcome to Alcoholics Public. Actually, maybe I even should change the name of my channel. OG Mr. West Alcoholics Public. Or Alcoholics Public with OG Mr. West. Something like that. I don't know. But George was saying that he thought it would be a good idea if me, Stu from Backcountry, Rick, maybe even Submantha, all meet together and do an interview that way. And I agree with that. I'm going to get a little closer to the camera here because we got some guy mowing his lawn on a rainy day. But I agree with that. I think that the more people involved, the better. I don't think that I should be leading anything. I'm not trying to be a leader of anything. I don't mind calling out people's bullshit. I don't mind if anybody does. But that's why I tag so many people, is because I want everybody involved in the recovery space to be involved in these conversations. What I don't like is that there's these small little pockets of people who are supposedly in recovery who are bashing anybody in recovery. So that's why I did all that bullshit yesterday. And I would continue to do it. I'd be fine with letting it go and dropping it where it is right now. Like I said, Submantha didn't get himself on camera. I knew he wasn't gonna. And I'm not a bully. He's already shown that he's a coward. And at this point, I would be bullying the guy. Not trying to do that. Just wanted to put you in your place. You got a lot to say about people. But when it's your turn to get yourself on camera and prove yourself, you're too scared to do it. But George's idea, if we were to do this interview with even you included there, Submantha, we'd at least get you on camera, but we'd also get to see and hear your expertise and hear you say your points and the things that have made you feel so inclined to follow this guy around to everybody's channel and shit like that. I want you guys to understand something, okay? I would not even know about you guys had you not come and introduced yourselves to me. And had you stayed fucked off, like I told you to before, yesterday's video wouldn't even have happened. Okay? Submantha, you decided to bring your little self on over to my space. Okay? And you decided to highlight yourself, knowing that I don't really care for you. And so you got your little submarine fucking torpedoed. And you didn't do anything about it. And that's, yeah, forget about that. So, like I say, I think that everybody should be included in these conversations. That's why I'm going to keep tagging people. I'm not a guru. I don't think that I'm a guru. But listen, I stopped making recovery a complicated thing. Okay? I stopped lying to myself. And recovery should not be a complicated thing. The sooner we stop lying to ourselves, the sooner we get free. And people say that I have a big ego. I've learned already the ego is just the story that you tell yourself. The story that I used to tell myself was a lie. I tell myself a different story these days. I tell myself the truth. You know, if you're saying to yourself that I really want to drink, that might be true. But that's just a part of your truth. And that's a small part of you. The bigger part of you wants to quit. The bigger part of you wants to be healthy. The bigger part of you wants to not be in pain. Speak to that part of you. That's the part of me that I speak to. That's the part of me that I speak from. I just tell myself the truth these days. Yeah, even if I did want to drink, that might be true. But I also don't want to drink. And then I decide what it is that I'm going to focus on. You know? Like, if I truly don't want to drink and the version of me that truly doesn't want to drink is there or bigger, then does that version of me just sit around and think about what I don't have and that I don't get a drink and stuff? No, man, hopefully that version of me is doing cool shit. Or at least shit that I find cool. You know, hopefully that version of me is building a fucking gym on his back porch and starting a YouTube channel and talking with people across the world and picking on fucking bullies and shit like that. I don't know. Everything other than drinking. It might be true that you want to drink. You might be being truthful. You're just not telling yourself the whole truth. And you're really robbing yourself. But anyway, this whole space, I think, should be Alcoholics Public. I still think that if you have a willingness to stay sober, you should be able to speak. I still think that if you can speak with respect and you're talking about growth and you're trying to help, then speak. But if you're coming here to destroy and to deconstruct and be divisive and all those kind of things, you have the right to do it, but you're going to get opposition from people who are actually trying to heal and actually care about other people. So, as far as I'm concerned, right? People talk however they want. Keep it over there on your fucking channel. Because if you bring it over here, I'm going to highlight your ass. Okay? Thanks for listening. Have a great rest of your day on purpose. God bless you. I'm out of here.